Hello, everybody. Welcome. Come on in the room, ladies. We are so excited because this is week 2 of the vow. And we are here with a very special guest. As you guys know, I always have a very special guest. And we bring in and we talk about different topics. Last week we talked about the vow. We took the vow. We talked about self-image. We talked about some scriptures that related to self-image. And you ladies were supposed to do your homework, right? So you ladies were supposed to do some self-care activities. So let me know what y'all did in the comments. I know some people said they were going to go get their nails done. They were getting foot rubs. And I know Valentine's Day happened in between there as well. So what did you guys do for self-love on Valentine's Day? And if you did have a date, was it fun? And what did you guys do on your date? So answer me in the comments. I'm so excited that you ladies are back for week 2. We had so much fun on week 1 of the vow. We are back again for week 2. And today, guys, we are talking about communication. Oh my God, communication is so very important. I absolutely, I feel like if you don't get this part of your relationship right, then it's never going to be right. So that is why I had to bring it. I kind of did it a little bit out of order, though. I know we haven't talked about role expectations yet. We'll do that next week. But communication just flows right into those role expectations, and it goes left, it goes right. And so I have a very, very special guest with me today, you guys. Like I said before, and her name is Miss Crystal Scarborough, and she is so excited to meet me. She's a member of our Girl Talk Inc. group. She has a life coaching organization that she does, and I'm believing by faith that thing is getting ready to blow up. Because after you guys hear what she has to say today, I feel like you're gonna have to run over to her page and follow her work and join her organization and get whatever she has to offer, because it's very good. A lot of times we don't want to do the life work that it takes to work on ourselves, but what we offer ourselves when we do that is freedom. When you do the work, the mental health work that it takes to get to the next level, then I feel like you can free yourself in so many different areas. This is just the bottom basic line, ladies. And I'm so happy that you guys have recommitted to doing the work. And so you guys are going to hear from Miss Crystal tonight. She's going to teach us a little bit about communication. She's going to give us some communication styles, and we're going to get right into that. So go ahead, Miss Crystal, and tell the ladies a little bit about who you are and why you think this communication is so very important.
Wow, thank you, Miss Brown.
You welcome.
I do appreciate the opportunity that you afforded me to share your platform and the people that's in it. I just really think that this is a God sent. God, what He does is that He connects people always, just like He did Naomi and Ruth. And He will continue to do that. We have various generations, and we need to be learning from each other, and especially from those who've already experienced what you are going through, are getting ready to go through. So with that said, I want to just start out talking about what is communication. Communication, well, let me back up. You asked me. I am a strategic certified life coach with complementary attachment to what you want to call it, therapy. So what that means is that I've taken some classes to actually afforded me to be able to have a number to be like I'm certified in that way. So I'm clinician inside and life coach as well. So I've been doing life coach for about 2014 is when I originally became certified, and throughout my journey, I've done, all kind of things. Vice president of an organization, director of programs, case management, social services, human services. So people is my theme, and minister. So people are my theme. Ministry is really the foundation that holds me up. I was just explaining to Ms. Brown. I'm like, Lord, I just sometimes, but He tells me to keep going. It's always that one. Just like he said, he'll leave the 99 and go after the one. And so that's what I do. I go where he tells me to go. I do what he tells me to do. I say what he wants me to say. Just like he did with Jeremiah. He put the words in his mouth. So I know he's going to put them in mine. But this is why I do life coaching. I want people to stop struggling with what they're struggling with in order to get to a place where they can love themselves. I went through that, and I can help you with that. But the bottom line is the journey that you are on should take you to a place to where you can love yourself. So that's a little bit about me. And so now I'll go into what communication is. Is that okay, Ms. Brown?
Yes, ma'am, please do. But before you go there, give me just a second because I got to give a shout out and some deets right quick, y'all. And I didn't even do this right quick, Crystal, but I did. I promised that. Okay, you guys. So I got to give some details right quick because I am doing something that I just started. A couple of weeks ago, I have become an ambassador for an organization, for a company, a beauty company, guys. It's called Book Busy Beauty. And she does makeup and she has different makeup products. And I just love that she sent me this beautiful card. So thank you. Her name is Tasia Dean, guys. And she does this organization. I'm wearing her lipstick today, y'all.
Really?
And I had to give her a shout out. This is her lipstick, you guys. I have a gloss inner lipstick. So I don't know if you guys can see that. But it's called Blessed, Booked, and Busy. And she is definitely a woman of faith. And she is stepping out on faith, opening her makeup line. And I want to support her because I support women in business, you guys. And I told her, I said, sis, I am going to wear your lipstick tonight. And I want you ladies to go to her website. And I have a discount on there. And it's called Nora 10. And you get a 10% discount off of whatever you purchase off her website today. Okay, you guys. So go to her website and purchase any lipstick, any makeup products, or anything like that. And you get a discount by using my code. It's called Nora 10. So somebody type that in the comments for me. And it's called Blessed, Booked, and Busy. So you guys go support her. She is doing awesome work. And I love it. I love the lipstick. It's popping. Thank you, sis. And I just have to plug out there before we get started today.
Because it's beautiful. I love it on you. I was going to ask you, like, what kind of lipstick is that? So cute.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So we're going to jump right into it. And I asked Miss Crystal to tell us why communication is so very, very important to us and kind of how this relates into relationships. So talk to us, Miss Crystal, about why communication is so important in relationships.
Okay, I will definitely do that. But I do want to start with explaining what communication is.
Go ahead.
Because I think a lot of individuals don't quite get it. I'll tell you why. So the definition, when I looked up the definition of communication, it is the transfer of information from one place to another, or in a relationship, the communication allows you to explain to someone else about what you are experiencing and vice versa, about your needs. Right. Communication is more about your needs, and I don't think a lot of people understand that, but you will before we get out of here today. The act of communicating, it not only helps to meet the need, but it also helps you to connect in your relationship. So, guys, I talk with my hand. I'm kind of animated, so I hope that doesn't offend you.
I love it. Keep going.
I get into it. I really do. So, in short, communication is the exchange of correct information. That's it. It's the correct information, not just what you want to put out there, not what just he or she wants to put out there. And when I say he or she, this can apply across the board. Relationships are not only with male and female. It could be your mother. It could be your sister. It could be Miss Brown and I. Just like I said, well, let's start with the communication. So she said, yes, that's a need. So that need has to be met in some form, of communicating the right information.
Mm.
So now I want to share with you what communication is not, since I told you the definition. So it is not making small talk. And you're like, what do you mean? So asking your partner or anyone, how was their day? That's good. But that's not small talk is not communication. It's deeper than that. It goes into being heard. So Tony Robbins says the biggest misconception about how to communicate with your partner is that communication is not the same as small talking. And
Mm.
so it's
Let me
very
ask you something. I know it's not a part, and I'm probably interrupting you, and this is not a good communication way. But I asked though before I speak, and that is something in our speaker listener. I always have to ask before I speak to the person. That's called a speaker listener, which we'll get into later on. But you talked a lot about small talk. And so can you tell me what the difference between small talk and actually having a conversation is? Because I think people get those confused.
So what we're doing right now is exchanging correct information. That's communication.
Right.
Small talk, as I just mentioned, could be, girl, I love that lipstick.
Right.
You see the difference?
Yes.
That's not necessarily a need, but I just like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I'd like to eat fish, but it don't mean I need fish.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So
right. Okay. I see.
Yeah. Conversation, the communication is the exchange of correct information, not just saying, how was your day? I like your lipstick. I love your hair. That's just small talk. Now, if I was to say, now I like your hair, that is really, really looks good on you. And well, who did your hair? And now we're beginning to exchange information. But if it's the correct information for me, well, yeah, because I asked who did it, and now I want my hair. You see what I mean? If I want my
I see what you mean. Okay, everything is clicking now. I like the examples you use. That's perfect.
So that's called the exchange of correct information. That's communicating, not just saying, "Girl, you wearing that dress." That so that's the difference. That's the difference.
Awesome.
And so many people in relationships really think that they're communicating with their partner by small talking, and then they wonder why. I'm sorry, can I just go here?
Yes, please keep going. I love where
they wonder why the man say, "Oh, you nagging all the time." Because you're doing a lot of this. You're just moving your lips. You will hear them say you just giving lip service. I don't know who heard that before, but I know I have.
Yes.
So a lot of lip service because you just small talking. You thinking because of how you were taught in your past that you're communicating with your partner, but you're not. Your partner is telling you that you're doing a lot of lip service. You just talking too much. You're not talking about anything. And you like, oh, I'm trying. But you're not big. That's because you wasn't taught how. That's all. But you're gonna be like I forgot who said that, but you're gonna learn today. And it's okay.
You're gonna learn today. Right. I love it.
It's okay.
It's so good already because I feel like we do so much small talk with each other and you think you know the person, but you're like, no, I don't know nothing about you because I literally haven't even said nothing yet because I just been small talking the whole time. We start our relationship small talking and they end because we never went to the next level.
Absolutely.
This. Keep telling
Remember, I said that's right. Remember, I said communication goes deeper. It's not a surface level communication. Okay, I'm gonna give one more example. It's kind of like when you get lost. What do you do when you get lost? Say you're driving, trying to, I don't know, we say trying to get to B destination from A, and you get lost. What are some of the things, or what do you do to help get you back on track?
I usually try to look for markers or I'll GPS it, ask questions. I don't know, all the above.
and that's what we all do. But typically, if we're in our surroundings where, I mean, we see something that is in a surrounding area, we know that place is, like you said, like a benchmark or a landmark,
Yeah,
right?
you look for
And
something
so
familiar.
there you go. And then say you go inside of that place and you say, hey, can you tell me how to get to B? So now you got a need, right? You lost. So you're trying to find your way, the correct way to get to where you need to be. So that's just another example, is now you're communicating with this individual, telling this individual what's going on and what you need in order to get to that safe place at B. So
Exactly.
now you're exchanging. You trying to get information, for correct information to get to where you need to be. And I hope that that's helping you guys. If you're not doing lip service, that's not communication. Communication is derived from a need to get to where you need to be, and also your partner in relationships where they need to be. Now, it's not all about you, as we sometimes make it. But if we want a healthy relationship, we got to learn how to communicate with our partner.
Absolutely. That's so good. And when you talk about directions, because sometimes people talk and they don't give the right directions, right? Because we don't understand what they're saying, or we may not be clear on what we're saying. And it's just so many different ways to say different things, but like you have to get it across to that individual. So I don't know if I asked you that. I don't remember exactly what I said because my computer went down. But I wanted to know, like, what are some communication styles that you've seen? I know that you've been doing life coaching, and I don't know how much extensive work that you've done in this area, but can you tell us a couple of different styles of communication, or how you see? Go ahead.
Communicate. Well, that's a good question. There's so many out there. Let's just say you have the listening, you have the kinesthetic, you have the trying to think now, it escaped from me. You have at least 4 different styles of communicating, and I'll break those down in the sense of, have you all heard of the 5 love languages?
Yes, I was going to say that next.
Yep. So in the 5 love languages, there's words of affirmation, there's acts of kindness, there's receiving gifts, there's quality time, and there's physical touch. And so, as I was explaining a minute ago, they all are embedded in these 5 love languages. Absolutely. These are the various styles that people have in order to get their need, going back to communication, getting their need met. So if you are a person that do not like to be touched, that's not your love language. So what I would just say to you is to speak to your partner really way beforehand, before you actually get into a relationship, and talk about these things. Like, what is your love language? What is your style of communicating? How do you like to be communicated to or with? That will make a huge difference in from a toxic or unhealthy to a healthy relationship.
Right.
Oftentimes, and I'm trying to step on my watch what I say, but oftentimes what we do, guys, is we jump into a relationship and then ask questions later.
Yes.
And this is where the communication breakdown begins, right up at the front, because we don't know anything about that person. We feel like we done went to dinner, we done had, and he paid for it, and now the next thing is, yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. I ain't got to see it. You know what the next thing is. Yes. And now you done fell into that. To that,
you ain't even asked them no kind of questions. Somebody somebody's asking, how do you, oh, this is Miss Gail. Hey, Gail. Hey, girl. And Kale. Gail and Kale. Hell, y'all. I got two questions for you, Miss Crystal. One is, how do you communicate through uncomfortable conversations? Y'all keep asking us. I love this. And then after you answer that question, then we'll go back to the next one. Okay.
Okay. So how do you communicate through uncomfortable conversations? So I will say this. There is no conversation that should be uncomfortable pertaining to you. When it comes to you, remember, I'm all about self-love. Once you begin to love yourself, you'll be able to ask those uncomfortable conversations. When the uncomfortability comes in is when we're trying to what's the word? The please that other individual without even knowing who they are. And we're just putting ourselves on the back burner once again. Not that you need to be egotistical about you, but you need to really figure out the core of you so you can love yourself to say, hey, I sure am glad you asked me out tonight. But I have something to say.
Right.
And I'm putting this out here, okay, guys. It's to the point of, because this is a need. You need to know. This is on a need to know basis. So now,
I like it.
You know what I'm saying? So now you're gonna say, how many relationships have you been in prior to meeting me?
Right. Those are good questions.
Yeah, because I mean, listen, if that person, now I know we're adults, I get that, and that could be a lot, but I would say, and just think about it, ladies, if a man has been in 20 relationships and he's only 30,
that's a problem.
That's
a red flag. That's a red flag.
So what that means is you got to do your homework for yourself. You do not want to get, and I'm gonna have to give Jay to get into an entanglement that you can easily walk away from even before it starts.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. So that's my answer to that piece, is that you got to make sure, no question this is pertaining to you and anybody attached to you. No question is an uncomfortable question. If he can't answer it, then that's not the person for you.
Exactly. I like that. I totally agree with you on that one. And the next question is can you have all 5 love languages?
Yes, you can. I'm glad you asked that. And to a harmony, I don't like the word balance, so y'all won't hear me. Balance is, I don't know, that's not real. Harmony, the centeredness, right? But to a balance, you can have a percentage of each one of those, based on, just say you might have 5% of words of affirmation. Maybe you say, "Oh, girl, you looking good in that dress," and you be like, "Okay," So you might do the 5% of that. You don't really worry about it, because you kind of know you look good, right?
Yeah,
right. Yeah, that kind of thing. So acts of kindness, maybe the he buys you, I don't know, a pair of shoes. I'm just putting something. Right. And you like, oh, okay, cool. But that may be another, 10%. It's not really what you did, but you go with it, right?
Yeah.
You like stuff like that from him. And again, the acts of kindness could be just a gesture. It could be whatever that may be. But receiving of gifts. Now, there's a lot of us. When I say us, I'm talking about females. That's all I know about. Love getting gifts.
Yeah.
And love getting expensive gifts, right? So that one may be 90%. So you see what I'm going with this? This may be 90% of your love language.
But you still touch other ones. Absolutely.
Yeah, right. Because it's a percentage breakdown. One is you can get 1 or 2 that may be equal. You can get the one that may be higher, and then there's another one a little closer. So it's all about a breakdown, right? So I will say that Dr. Gary Chapman, if you go to his page on Facebook. I believe he has a free quiz on there
Yeah.
that can help you decipher what your love language is. So again, there's a variety of styles, but these are they all encompass into these five in which he's talking about. And it's also encompassing of just around the need. These are all around your need. Because if these needs are with you in a relationship are not communicated, then you got frustration. He
Exactly.
don't see me. He's not, I like my gifts and he's not giving me gifts, but instead he wants to give me a hug. I don't want you to touch me. You know,
Oh my
some people
goodness.
don't like touch.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, these are so good. I was thinking about the love languages, because my love language is definitely as a service. And so for me, I love when I come home and my husband has cooked or washed the dishes or maybe put the kids to bed or, maybe clean my car and things like that. But sometimes, men assume that you want a gift, like a pair of shoes or that you want a new purse. And those things are nice. Like I love a new purse. Like just as much as anybody, I will slay like Boris bag, whatever the case may be. But I need the dishes washer. I need you to help me with these children, and that to me, I value higher because I can wear my purse and I can look good in it. But at the end of the day, I still got to bust these suds. I got to go wash my car. I still got to tend to my children. So for me, I love when people do those things for me in that way. And so it's kind of without communicating that to my partner in the beginning, I would just blow up. You get what I'm saying? Like, dang, you don't never wash the dishes. You don't never help me with kids. You keep giving me these purses and keep doing all this stuff. I don't want the purses. I don't want this stuff. I want, I want you to wash the dishes. I want you to help me with the kids. I want you to do this and that. But I just assumed, that he would know. And a lot of us go into relationships assuming things about each other. We don't communicate anything. We just say, oh, well, you should know that I like this. No, like how do you know? And so I think that's a little that is why I feel like this is so important. I love the points that you hit tonight because they're so good with these love languages. And ladies, please go to Gary Chapman's page. You can go Google it on Google. Just type in 5 love languages and you can take the quiz. So that's a part of our homework this week, ladies, is for you guys to take the love language quiz because we need to know what our love languages are and how that's important. But anyway,
and you hit it on the head when you said, as I mentioned about being frustrated, because that if he did not take the time to understand your love language, one, I want to say this: if you didn't take the time to express to him, remember I said explain. You have to talk to your partner, conversate with your partner to tell him your need, so he will know. If you do not take that time to do this, then you will be frustrated through your whole entire relationship, and you'll wonder why you guys are not connecting like in a healthy way that you should. Remember in the beginning, he said, "Oh, all I hear lip service, lip service, lip service," because you're not listening to him, nor is he listening to you. So you guys are not communicating
at all.
Nope.
So, how can I go about effectively communicating with someone? Say for instance, I am. We'll speak about women who are already in relationships. So I'm already in this relationship with this man, and we're already, we're in this, maybe not married, just kind of headed toward that way. And I've been frustrated. How do I start doing a turnaround and communicating my needs? Like, where do I even start? Because I know a lot of women are in damaged places where they're just at their wits end and they frustrated and they've tried different things. What are some effective ways that people can start to really get their points across?
So I always go back to this one: get to know you first, because you know you understand your shortcomings and your longcomings. But if you don't know those, then you can't communicate to the next your partner or your husband to be, or even your husband. You can't communicate those because you're still at that disadvantage because you are not fully healed or fully made whole in you. So if you are and you say, well, okay, I want to start, And this is where I am. So where do I begin to answer your question? So what I would recommend is I want to talk about maybe the keys of the kingdom. So
Yes.
we talk about, and when I say the keys of the kingdom, I'm saying the keys of the kingdom as a reference for you, your communication. So you need, and I don't like that word, but I'm going to say it because that's like da, 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 right? To realize that not everyone has the same communication preference. Once you realize that everybody doesn't speak the same language, then what you're going to have to do is maybe do a visualization for your mate.
Mhm.
Maybe you can learn how to discuss your feelings with your mate. You can um, you can do something really nice for your mate
Right.
to have a needs conversation. And I say do something really nice because typically a man works all day typically, and they work outdoors. And I'm not putting anybody in a box, but that's just the way it is for some, right? Not for everybody. But when he comes home from a long day's work, and then, like Miss Brown said, hers is acts of kindness. I need him to do X, Y, Z. But maybe he's not hearing something she's been discussing with him. And I say discussing, giving that lip service. So what she has to do now is just say, okay, honey, I'll you watch the kids. Let me go cook a meal. Take your shower, watch the kids cook a meal. Okay. And this is just an example. And then while you guys are eating, you can spark up a conversation and say, well, honey, or babe, boo, whatever you want to call them, and just say, I've been experiencing this, I've been feeling this, and I want to know what your thought about that. So now you're on the verge of exchanging correct information. You see what I'm saying? So, but if you go in there and you have this attitude, because
Mm.
remember, I'm gonna say remember, but tone is huge.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
how you speak to them, what's your belief, if your beliefs are different from him or her, uh your let me get to my other one, your values, your I can even say how you sitting
Yes.
can change your, all of those little things right there can change your whole conversation with your mate. So you have to be cognitive or cognizant of what you're doing, your body language, the way your tone is, your attire even. If you're going in there with rollers up in your head and a bonnet on, you can forget it. Because he's gonna see you as the woman that's kind of tired and ready for bed, right? But you want him to see you how he visualizes you on a daily basis of you typically dress up, or if you're going out, put on some beauty, have that conversation with him so he can keep his eyes on you, and he knows that you really mean business because you done went all the way to get yourself dressed up, dolled up, or whatever you're gonna call it, and he's like, okay, this is for real, so let's have this conversation. So again, just make sure that um, you watch your tone, you watch what you wear, you watch how you sitting, because your body language speaks volumes without even saying one word.
Yes, it sure does. Wow.
And so if you
Nonverbal.
yes, nonverbal cues, if you sitting over there and you slouching over in your seat, or you however you gonna look, it's gonna take your conversation left and not right. So just
Exactly.
remember those things. And always, encourage your mate. I want to say this, ladies. You have to be your mate's number one fan. If you are his number one fan, you're going to pay attention to his every need, his every, and I'm not talking about where you forget about yourself. I want you to think about you first, but you will pay attention to his every need. It's kind of like he won't want for anything because you've already been done it. And he's like, what's going on? Those are the times to take to have a
Right,
conversation.
exactly.
Communicate with your mate, with your partner, with your spouse. You have to have the scenery correct, if that makes sense. Because if you don't have that in a good way, then you are giving lip service, and I want you to do more than that. So I hope that answered your question.
It did. Somebody asked the question, but I think it was Andrea, but I'm not sure what the RBF says. I don't know what exactly what the acronyms are. Spell it out for me, sis. You're gonna have to tell me exactly what you're trying to say because I don't see exactly what it says.
Okay.
But I believe that you made some very valid points. I think that timing is so important. A lot of people don't really think about the timing of their conversations.
Mhm.
They just kind of have conversations. They don't think that, hey, maybe right before bed after a long day of work and them being sleepy, and they say, oh, you always going to sleep on me. Well, you're talking to me at 11 o'clock at night, so
Absolutely.
I'm going to be a little more tired than I would be at 7 o'clock. So maybe if I talk to you at 6 or 7, you'll have more attention to the situation versus you staying and waiting till 11 p.m. when the person is about to go to sleep. So timing is so important, ladies. Like, I feel like a lot of times that was where my stumbling block was, because I would always wait till I was in bed and I would tell my husband, I would like unload all of this stuff on him. In our first year of marriage, that was my biggest mistake, was unloading at bedtime. Like, nobody wants to talk to you at 11 p.m. at night or 10:30 after doing all the stuff that they've already done. And then you know, your perception of that is, oh, they're ignoring me. They're not interested. They don't care. When the truth is that they're just tired and your timing was off. You get what I'm saying? So timing, I feel like, is extremely important. And you also talked a little bit about posture, the way you sit and the way that your body language is with another person when you're communicating. I think that is so very important, because if you looking uninterested and you looking to the left, and I think a lot of times that's confused with hearing versus listening, because I can hear what I can be listening to you, but not hearing you. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So a lot of times people are hearing what people are saying, but they're not listening, because listening actually requires activity. Whereas hearing, I can hear everything. I can hear my refrigerator going. I can hear the air conditioner or the heater turn off and on. I'm hearing all those things, but I'm not listening to those things. So listening and hearing are two very different things. And so I don't think we listen actively to our partners enough. And we need to really like take it to the next level. I think hearing is like the very bare minimum, but listening is when you take it up to the next level. So I like what you said. I'm loving this.
I have to share this with you.
Go ahead.
Hearing is the one thing that we can do when it comes to multitasking with no effort.
Right.
That's hearing. So like you said, we can hear everything, but can we pinpoint what we hear, because we're hearing so many different things? So what happens is, because of the experience that we've had with the hearing of everything, we've become aware of these different sounds. But when it comes to listening, which is, and I'm gonna just touch that, which is one effective way of communication, is discover how to listen, not how to talk, but how to listen.
Wow.
So I just wanted to share that with you.
I like that. Somebody else said something here too. So the person, she said, Edna, hey Edna, she says the person has to be ready to receive what you are about to say. Absolutely. I like that. You have to be ready to receive what you're about to say, because I mean, obviously, if the person is not open to hearing, and that would include us, you guys, because a lot of times I think we have criminalized the other person or made them the monster. But you gotta think about the role that you've played in this great part of communication as well. Are you willing to hear what the person has to say?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we don't want to hear it because we already have our points set out. We already have our way of thinking set out. We already know that this is the right way and this is just how it's going to be. And this is where I'm going with it. And you don't hear me, and that's it. So when you go in, you already on the defense. You get what I'm saying? You already ready for war. Like I done already told him 10 times to get his shoes up, and I already told him I like my gifts on Valentine's Day, not the day after. You know, like those are different things that I didn't battle with my husband. I'm giving y'all real life examples because I remember my husband loves to come late with the gift, y'all. Oh my God. This man is day after Christmas, day after Valentine's, day after the birthday type of guy. Like he will order some stuff and it will never be there on time. And I'm like, because you ordered it the day of the birthday, of course it's not going to be on there. So I used to bump heads with him, right? So I had to go and do some investigation. So what I found out during my times of expectations and going through my expectations, because me and my husband went to premarital counseling, right, y'all? I found out that he didn't value birthdays. I found out that his family wasn't gift givers. And so because they weren't gift givers and that wasn't a big deal to him, he didn't understand why it was such a big deal to me. But with that little bit of research, I found out why. He was not sabotaging me on purpose. It just wasn't of value to him. And so, like when you dig, you find out information about people. I think that's why the questions that you ask on dates and while you're dating people before you say I do are so very important, you guys. Like, don't just go to them dates having small talk. You need to be actually communicating with people on those dates so that it won't be small talk, so you can actually get to know the person. Because had I had that conversation previous to this, I would have already know, and then I could have told him like, hey, I really love birthdays. I really because I was like, don't you see me celebrating my birthday? Don't you see me doing this and that? Don't you see all that? You didn't see me do this for her or do that for him, and you didn't see how I lit up, like you wasn't paying attention. No, they weren't. You have
that's not what he's used to. Right, exactly. So that's why you have to be aware. When I meant about being conscious, being aware of what that person's like and what they don't like, but you got to know what you like and what you don't like before you get into that relationship. Don't just, especially as adult women, and I say adult, you can be 18. I know you're still kind of giddy around the edges, but you can't go on a date and thinking like, oh girl, he like me, he taking me out, girl. No, it's more than that. Now listen, if you are a person that just a serial dater, you do you, boo. But for a lot of us who are wanting to be married or are wanting to be in a relationship, this becomes very vital to us.
Exactly.
So don't just go thinking, oh, we're going on a date. Well, now let me back up. I want you to go thinking you just going on a date, but you need to make sure you have, as Gail said, those uncomfortable questions you have to ask. It's about you. And a lot of times what happens is, again, we get so blindsided to the giddiness of having a date. We just
completely
we just like we did again or something. Like, and we did this and we did that and did it, and that's like, oh my God, so. But yes, you definitely need to be aware of who you are wanting to be in a relationship with. That communication is the key to the kingdom.
Oh, yes.
That is the key to the kingdom, is communication. That gives you the key to unlock the door.
Y'all write that in the chat. Yes, ma'am. Say it one more time for him, Miss Crystal.
Communication is the key to the kingdom. That's the key that would unlock the door.
Communication is the key to the kingdom. Wow, that is so good, because literally that is the difference between failed marriages and successful marriages. Absolutely. Is that one couple got communication right and the other one could not get communication right.
Absolutely.
And it goes into all areas of your life. If you've noticed in the very basic friendships, level of relationship, which is friendship. That's the first level of relationships, is friendship, right? So if you can't get it right in a friendship, that's your practicing ground, right, y'all? So when you're in a friendship with people like in elementary, kindergarten, perhaps you run into your best friend. If you can't get that right in that elementary stage, you can't go into the next level, which is dating with another person or going into business partnerships or going into those type of, or being a boss over other people. How can you be someone's boss and you can't communicate? Have you guys ever been under bosses that don't communicate well? And they don't. I know I have. I've been a boss, and I've also been working for a boss. We're always working for somebody, right? Even in our own businesses. And what I learned is to always repeat back to a person what they said to you. So this is what I thought I heard you say. You guys, this is such a great statement. This is what I thought I heard you say. If you always say that after somebody gives you instructions, you can never go wrong with that. You get what I'm saying? And so whenever my kids, even my 3-year-old says something to me, I say, did you say you want apple juice along with your cereal today? And she'll say, yes, Mama, I want apple juice today. I even do it with a very, with a 3-year-old. This skill can work with a 3-year-old. You can repeat. Always repeat back what the person say. Do you guys notice that they do this at the drive-thru at McDonald's?
Yes.
They repeat your order back to you and say, is everything correct on the screen? The reason why they're doing that is to make sure they got everything right that you requested of them. And that's what we have to do with our spouses. We have to repeat back what people said to us in order to completely understand what they said. Because you can say something and mean something completely different.
That's it.
But when you repeat it back to them, they can have a chance to say, no, that's not what I meant. But if you don't repeat it back to them and give them an opportunity, you never get to the point of being able to understand. Let me tell you how many relationships I saved, Miss Crystal, by doing this very simple task. I thought I heard you say, and I've even been doing it with you today. Have you noticed? So Miss Crystal said this, and that. Is that what I heard you say? And then you can tell me, yes. Okay, stop, Nora. Let me say this first. And that's what we've been doing with each other the whole time we've been talking. It's so funny, and it's engraved in me now, but I wasn't always this type of communicator, you guys. Let me tell you, this has been years in the works. I don't expect you guys to bust up tomorrow and be able to talk like this, but this is a very small thing you can do. Say, I thought I heard you say, or did you say?
Or can you repeat that?
Or can you repeat what you just said? If you literally did not hear them, or you don't get what they're trying to say, can you repeat that for me one more time? Can you say that again for me one more time? I thought I heard you say this. Is that correct? Other ways to phrase, can you repeat what you said? Or let me get clarity on what you're trying to say to me right now. Because the last thing you want to do is leave the room and be completely confused. And those are literally my worst workers, y'all. Those ones who don't tell me what I thought I said, because I used to manage 75 people. Okay, you guys. So that was so important for me to understand what they said and what I said, because people have literally lost their jobs because they thought you said something that you did not say, or you thought they said something to you, but that they did not say. You know what I'm saying? So I've had when I say, well, I thought you said you was going to be here at 3. No, Miss Nora, I told you I had a doctor's appointment at this time and such and that. Okay, I forgot to tell her. Can you repeat back to me what you said? And then I would have got clarity on exactly what she said, and I wasn't expecting her to be there at that time. So small things like that can get you guys to the next level in this whole communication game. It's so very important, because this is so funny. Sorry, just one more point. This man, I'm like, I thought I heard you said you had 3 kids. I'm like, okay, that's very important to know how many kids people have. Like,
that's right.
It's a very committed relationship. So you always have to be listening and have people repeat that. Now go ahead, Miss Gail. Sorry.
All I was going to say, that goes back to the exchange of the correct information.
Yes.
That's in short. If you can remember that, you're golden. That's another key to the kingdom. It's in short, it is the correct exchange. The exchange of correct information. You're not giving falsehood. You're not giving shortcuts. You're giving exactly what the need is. Just like when Ms. Brown preference McDonald's, anybody, they say, yeah. So did you say, or not? Did you say, okay, I got your order. You want that? So they go and fill it out, and then you say, because that's the need, you hungry.
Right.
And you don't want them to mess that up, right?
Right.
Because if you give if you go, by the time you drive home, if you're going through the drive-through, you go home and they don't have what you want in there, especially the McDonald's fries, you gonna go off.
Yes.
So I'm just saying, make sure you are exchanging the correct information. It will change your life. I am so serious. So when you even asked the question, I'm not sure who that was, Ms. Nora, who said that, what if your partner is not
I think that was Edna, Miss Edna.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if your partner is not there cognitively, he's not aware, that's it's going to take time for change to happen, unless you are in COVID, and we are, or you are in a situation like COVID that just, pounce on you. Okay.
Right.
So in a relationship, once you start doing things differently, he sees or she sees the difference in you, then things are going to begin to change in your household. I want to say this, ladies, and don't beat me up. Don't say you don't like I say this. But we as women set the tone for our home.
Yes.
When they're crazy in the communicating toxic stuff, guess what you're going to get back? But if you go in there in a way of, hey, I always say this because I remember calling my husband what I call my husband. This is the, hey boo, I got some mashed potatoes on the stove and something. You go in there and eat when you're ready. And he might say, maybe I'm the one, I don't want to fix your plate. You go fix your own plate. And he might say, well, can you fix it for me? Now I can have an attitude like I was talking about earlier.
Right.
And start giving him lip service. Well, that's going to cause disruption in my home.
Right.
But I like peace. So I'm like, okay, babe, I'll go in there, fix it for you. You going to eat at the table, or you going to eat at your chair? Most men got their own chair. Come on, y'all. And they, So, but however, what I'm saying is, it takes time. Once you can work on you, change is going to happen in your home.
Yes.
Because you set the tone for it.
Mm-hmm. I like that we are definitely tone setters in our home, and we can set the trajectory on this communication, you guys. So you can turn your spouse into a better communicator by communicating better with them. Because it really starts with you, because if that's your own frustration and you feeling bad about it and you taking it all on in within yourself, do you realize the moment you start doing it correctly, all that kind of dissipates from your personality and your point of view, and you've literally self-corrected, because they was never mad in the first place. You were the only one frustrated and not being able to get your point across, or feeling like you weren't being heard. So the moment you start to be heard and adjust your own attitude and your own thoughts and your own self, that thing will change instantly. You can't leave it up to the other person. And I realize that there are people who are extremely narcissistic and they cannot communicate, don't want to communicate. They gaslight us. They don't want to be in a relationship. Those are the people that you just get out. Those are toxic relationships. Those are not the folks we're talking about that you can reason with. Because some people can't be reasoning. You can't reason. I don't reason with terrorists. Okay, because that to me is a relationship terrorist. When they're in there and they're being narcissists and they're gaslighting and they're toxic, those relationships need to be exited. So we're not talking about those. We're talking about people who you feel like they want to hang in there, they've committed to the relationship. Okay, you guys. So these skills do not work on narcissistic, toxic folk. I want to get that out there in the beginning. This does not work for those type of people. Those people who are beyond this type of communication. They don't want to be heard. They're doing it on purpose. They're purposely manipulating and purposely not paying attention. They're closed off on purpose. So these are not the people we're speaking about. We're talking about people who are open to trying to fix the relationship. These people who have made commitments to say, okay, I realize that it's a problem here. I want to make our relationship better. And here's some ways we can do it. Okay. So I don't want you guys to go into these toxic relationships with these narcissistic men thinking that you can lay these techniques that we're talking about tonight and things are correct. No, 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 no. That's not what's going to happen. So I wanted to get that out there from the very beginning. So if you're in a
Oh, yeah.
toxic relationship that with a narcissist, okay, someone who is self-involved, and they only care about themselves and they're the center of everything, then this will not go far. You need to be praying to the Lord Jesus Christ, because he is the only one that can change those type of people. Okay.
Mhm. Yes.
So I get that. Somebody said, I told somebody for 6 years I love B-days, no gifts. Toxic. Absolutely, they are toxic. When you tell somebody how to treat you and they still don't do it, that's a problem. Okay. If I've had a conversation with you, I told you my love language, you told me yours, we've talked, and they still making no change. Okay. And this is especially in a dating relationship, y'all. This is a red flag. Do not marry that.
Yes.
Until you see real change coming from them, do not marry them. Period. Like, don't do it, because that is just going to be an extension of what you're already experiencing in that dating relationship. Because you think because you walk down the aisle and put on a white dress that they're going to change, you're badly mistaken. There will be no change. That's going to be the same Leroy he was when I was dating as when you are married. It's gonna be the same Bill that you was dating when y'all were dating when you're married. Okay, if he was toxic when I was dating, you're gonna be toxic when you're married. The ring is not gonna change him. So until you see change behavior, then it's still a no. Okay, and if I was dating him and no commitment was made, I'd be taking the first exit. Right, straight to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200 because you're not gonna collect it over here. Done. Okay. So anyway.
That's
good. Miss Crystal, like, you got to go.
You need to go, because listen, if you like your peace, you love your peace, you love yourself enough to, and I get you hadn't been in a relationship in a while. I'm just speak for me, transparent. I am a widow. I've been a widow for 16 years. Have I been in relationships? Yes. And been engaged 3 times. Am I remarried? No. No, because I saw those red flags.
Exactly.
I saw two individuals were mama boys. Where they and listen, ladies, when you don't have a man and you have children, and it's a whole nother, there's still communication, but you have a son. Women tend to cling to their sons, and they want to make their girls grow up fast.
Exactly.
And so the boy grows up in age, but he doesn't grow up mentally. So now he's like on mama's, you know what?
Yeah, on the breast.
So I'm like, so you got to think about things like that. You got to think about what's important to you in a relationship, and how will you be able to communicate with this individual that you're thinking that you want to be in a relationship with. Right?
Exactly.
You don't jump in.
Titty boy. I can't see who you are, but you are correct.
Well, I didn't want to say, but you know exactly what I was talking about. Can't let it go. Always on mama's tip. Like mama can't take, because mama can't take care of herself. But I will say this: if mama had a man, you boy wouldn't be nowhere in the picture.
Exactly. You worried about the wrong stuff. My business. Stay out my business.
Right. Listen, so that's why these red flags, these communication skills, guys, are very valid when you are seeking out or wanting a partner, a mate, or just dating, just at the very beginning. Again, once you love, and I don't know how many times I've said this before, but I'm going to stay on this. You got to love yourself more. We give more and more to everybody, and we get empty and depleted, and we don't even have anybody to pour into us. Now we crazy. Now we mean. Now we want to beat up everybody because we don't have what we think we want.
Because we didn't gave it all away.
We gave it away. So who's giving it back to us?
Wow. Miss Chris,
how do we communicate at that point? Right? So the only way you can is to stop everything around you. I'm going to tell you how you do it. You stop everything around you. You get in some time with you, for you, by yourself. And you read it. What I do is I use the word of God.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm gonna give you some scriptures here. But I want you to get into the word. Find what you need in the word. Find that one word: hurt, brokenness, immaturity, lack, whatever. That it's all in the Bible. Look in the back of the book, find the one word, and you get those scriptures, and that's what you base every day. You read them, you every day, and you begin to feel the Lord begin to speak to you. You begin to fill yourself up, and He begin to give you peace, the love, the joy, the gentleness that you need, because you need to be correct, right?
So
the
good.
kindness, the self-control. He give it all to you. Remember, I said 16 years.
Wow.
I have been a widow now. Now, I've been celibate for 6.
Right. Listen,
I'm not going to just
business,
give myself to anybody for communication purposes.
Right. Listen,
No.
It's so good, you know what, Miss Crystal, what you said, because I think so many people have lost themselves. We talked about this last week, right? We talked about filling our cups, and I gave them homework. I said, listen, ladies, every week you're going to be doing something. We're going to be on this live chat every week because we've taken a vow to commit to ourselves, right? I love Crystal too. Gail just said, I love Miss Crystal. And we took a vow to recommit to who we are as people, and that includes who we are as people and as women, because we have given to any and everybody, y'all. Like, I know women who will look for folks to give stuff away for after they have spent everything up and still ain't got nothing. You still trying to find money or find energy or find hope to give to someone else. You ain't got nothing left for yourself. So for 7 weeks, we are filling up our cups. We're pouring into ourselves. And that's exactly what myself and Crystal are doing for you ladies today. We are pouring into you. I ask that you take this stuff and run with it. Do not think because, oh, this is just free information, they just on here talking. No, we are pouring into your cups. This will help you in the long run. This will take you off of 10, 15-year stints that you will go into behind these relationships with these men who don't care nothing about you or your soul or your kids or your dreams or your hopes. They do not care about you. They only want a few things. Sex may be one, somewhere to stay may be another. I'm not saying everybody homeless and needs somewhere to stay, but it's a lot of men who are, and they want somewhere to stay. And that will include just physical houses. Sometimes they need somebody to lift them up and cheer them up, and then you get them all the way up for somebody else. You didn't fill this man up to go be the best man he can be for a whole nother woman. And you the cleaner on you, took your house and took you by storm. And now he all good because he took all your goodness. And now he the bomb because he done took everything from you to give to somebody else. So these conversations, these live chats, these posts, everything that we giving you is hopefully going to prevent you from going down a 10-year roller coaster that you wish you would have never got on. So don't take for granted the words that Miss Crystal is giving you on this evening. She's pouring from a place of wisdom, understanding, but most of all, experience. Okay, that's the key word. This is experience that you're listening to tonight. This is not willy-nilly somebody calling out of the sky. This woman has experience on her shelf. Lean in.
25 years of marriage. I was with my high school sweetheart. I married him for 25 years till he passed away. And I mean, I have learned so much as it relates from coming from a child to an adult, then from an adult to womanhood. I bet you're saying, what do you mean? Well, I'm going to explain that real quick. I was 15 going on 16 when I married him. That's all I knew. Wow. And then from age 40 when he passed away, so we grew up together, right, between that time. And at age 40 when he passed, that's when my womanhood began.
Wow.
Found myself. I'm like, what do I do? I had a home, had 2 cars. My son was going off to college. My daughter was already grown doing her thing and at school and whatever. I had to become a woman. This is why I talk about self-love. You are absolutely, Miss Nora, you are absolutely right. I had to love myself. I didn't know what kind of ice cream I liked, guys. I did everything for everybody. I did not have that for myself. Now, my husband did. He's a gift giver. He was a provider.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm a person that loves touch. He didn't love touch. I was sitting here being real with you. I'm like, I need the touch, and I just when we get with the get down, I need to be touched. I got to start here.
Right. Wow.
What I need to do for him. So we started talking later when he, got a little mature and about what I need. So this is why I'm telling you up front. Get what the need is up front. Just don't dive in the pool and don't know the temperature.
Ooh, I like that. Don't dive in the pool and I know the temperature. Yes, ma'am.
And
You need some snacks.
I mean,
I love it. Yes.
So, you have to be aware, ladies, of who we are. We are kingdom kids.
Yeah.
We were born out of a spirit. And in order to walk in the spirit through the flesh, we have to mind the things of the spirit first. Everything begins in the spirit first. And I know that may be a little much for you, but I'm telling you, when you walk in the spiritual things, then the discernment, we all have it. We just don't know how to tap into it. It tells us these red flags about this dude. He might look good. He might be, I don't know who look good no more today, but he might look like Denzel. He might look like Tay Diggs. He might look like, what's his name?
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, Michael B. Jordan. But what's on the inside is what you got to tap into.
Right. Right.
Because if you see it visually, the aesthetics look good. Well, guess who else is too?
Exactly.
It's a whole bunch of women out here for one man. Probably 33 of them. I think statistics say 33 women for one man.
Wow.
You can look
so you know it's got to be a God thing that he's a good man, right?
That's right. That's right.
And that's so crazy, y'all, that we on this subject, y'all. It took a lot out of me. And I mean to say like pride and selfishness and the ability to be vulnerable to even start the vow, because in order to do this, I had to tell my story, right? I had to admit that I was wrong and I have to bear my mistakes in front of people. That takes a lot out of a person to come live in front of anybody, friends and family. I don't know who's viewing this video. Like I got a lot of enemies out there, y'all, for no reason, most of them, but I don't know who's going to see this. And I really at this point do not care, because I know the truth and the truth shall set you free, because those who are free indeed.
That's it.
And so it's so much into that, y'all. I'm so full right now because I know that this works and that it can change your life. And that the things that we're saying to you guys are not just for fun, like I've said before, but they are life-changing skills that you can use to change your life. Because when you have a good relationship with a partner, it can make it goes to different points of your life. It's not just romantically, because then you begin to see financially, spiritually, mentally. Because when you have a successful partner, you don't think that's going to jump off on you. When they business minded and they care about who you are and they checking on your financial future, you don't think that's going to rub off on you? You don't think that's going to be a benefit to you in the future? Did you know that married people live longer than single people? It's a reason.
They do.
Because you got somebody to come home to your problems to. But when you're single or you're in a relationship with somebody who don't care nothing about you, who are you talking to? Nobody.
Absolutely.
The wine glasses, the butts, whatever you may be doing, because you don't have anybody to share your life with. Okay, that is so important. I want you guys to realize when you get this area of your life right, it's going to be attached to many other things. It just doesn't end here. There's more to this than what meets the eye. So anyway, we went way over our time because it was.
I know. Can I just give them the scriptures real quick and then
Yes,
I'm
please,
done?
give
I
us the
should thank you
scriptures.
guys, but I want to give you, I have 4 scriptures. I'll just give you the scriptures and you go and read them, okay?
Okay,
So it's
yes, ma'am.
Colossians 4 and 6,
Colossians.
Proverbs 18 and 13. I should do this one first. Proverbs 18:2 and Proverbs 18:21. And everybody should know that one, but
Can you at least read a couple of them or your
yeah.
favorite one out of those for us?
Colossians 4 and 6 is, let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how you ought to answer each person.
Ooh, that's good. Y'all hear the scriptures. Gil or Tamalaya or any of the ladies that are my admins, can you guys put those in the chat for us as well? If I got any admins on here, Edna, if you guys are still on here, my moderators, if you guys will put those in the chat, it's Colossians 4 and 6, Proverbs 18 and 2, Proverbs 18 and 13, and Proverbs 18 and 21. Did we get them all for you, Ms. Crystal?
You got them all. You got them all.
Man, this was so good. I'm like 15 minutes over my time. I'm really 20. Because you did, I mean, it was just so much. And the crazy thing is I'm not surprised. You know why? Because I knew this is what you would do.
Oh, wow.
I knew that this would be like so perfect for you to talk about because I could see your passion behind it. And it's just so good, y'all. Like, it's absolutely incredible that women of God. I prayed like a year ago when I was doing Crazy Faith, like a Transformation Church, you guys, if you guys don't know, and we started this Crazy Faith journey where we were basically speaking things into existence, right? So I said, God, on my Crazy Faith, I want you to drop people in my life that are dedicated to the call. And at the time, I really didn't know what my call was, but God knew. Right. And out of nowhere, these women began to come and show up, y'all. This is maybe my 41st, 41 interviews that I've done in the last year. And these women have come out of nowhere, you guys. They're doing this free of charge, free knowledge that they're giving out. And I just thank you so much for that, Miss Crystal. It's been so a blessing. It's just been an answered prayer for you to come on and talk to these ladies tonight. Do you have anything else that you want to add tonight before I do my last?
Yes, one thing, and that I'm typing it in so no one has to, but I want to give you a couple, well, about 5 benefits of a healthy, and what healthy communication looks like.
Yes, go ahead.
It does. A healthy communication builds trust, provides clarity and direction, deals with the problem at the moment, creates better relationships, and increases engagement. Remember, we were talking about that engagement piece. So I just want to leave that, and that's all I have. And you can reach me at crystalscarborough.com if you have any questions or need any answers.
That's awesome. So do you have a Facebook page or website we can put down there in the chat as well, Miss Crystal?
Yeah, the website is crystalscarborough, all one word.com. Okay, and then my Facebook is Crystal Scarborough, and my Instagram is Miss Crystal Scarborough. So you can't miss me.
Right, you are the same on all social media platforms. I love it. Well, we are so happy, y'all. I had a couple of things, and we'll just push it over to next week. We're gonna do this for 7 weeks. Like I said, this is week 2, so we got 5 more weeks of the vow. We'll take the other half of the vow, y'all, next week, just because I'm like way over on my time. But I am not regretting a minute of this. Like, it was the bomb. I actually had I probably could go do 30 more minutes because I just have so much material that I wanted to cover. But before we go, I just want to talk about conflict resolution styles, you guys. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 5 conflict resolution styles. Okay, I won't go into detail about each one, but I just want to give them to you really quickly so you guys can kind of think about what kind of conflict resolutions that you guys are doing right now. The first one is give up. Do I give up? That people who give up avoid conflict, keep silent on issues, seldom present on viewpoints, and will not argue. You just give up. The next type of conflict resolution style is to give in. They place high value on relationship, gives maximum attention to needs and desires of others. These are people pleasers, y'all. That's a give in. Challenge. They only see win or lose alternatives in conflict, push on viewpoint, and they relish in their own judgment. Those are people who like to challenge. Compromise. They see winning and losing as a necessary conflict, openly shares own opinions and receives others' beliefs. Believes satisfaction impossible, pushes compromise, uses give and take approach. As you guys are listening, you might kind of think about which one is the best way to resolve a conflict. Negotiation places high value on relationships and issues, is cautiously conformative, is not threatened by differences, expresses own opinions easily, allows others, and seeks to recognize the real issues, seeks resolution that is beneficial to all. Okay? So out of those 5 conflict resolutions that I just named, I really strongly believe that what is presented is to compromise or to negotiate. Being silent about your problems, being silent about how you feel is never a way to communicate in a relationship. And I've been that person. And I've also been the people pleaser. Being the people pleaser in relationships is not the right way to go.
Oh, no.
And I have my daughter in here, y'all. She's put my lipstick on. Come over here, girl. She put my lipstick on because she's ready to. Don't even look at her.
Oh my God.
Y'all see her?
You're so beautiful. Look at you, beautiful. Oh, you got it on your tongue too? Okay.
Girl, she like put it all over the thing yesterday. But I had to go through those really quick, you guys, because I really, really, really want to hit home about the people pleasers and the people who stay silent. Never be voiceless in relationships. Always be able to speak your mind and speak it freely. Back to the question that you answered in the beginning, Miss Crystal, about how to communicate. How do I talk to someone? You have to, first of all, start talking. You can't be silent. Silence and avoiding people is never a way to go about your communication style. You always got to be proactive, okay? Or you're going to continue to be reactive throughout the relationship. But anyway, that is communication. I am so excited for you ladies. We'll be back next week for part 3. And don't fret, you guys. I have more information, and I wish I could bring. We'll have to bring you back, Miss Crystal, toward the end of the vow, so we can re-talk again. We have so many topics that we want to cover, so many thoughts and ideas that we got to get out here. But we'll bring you back so we can talk again to the ladies. And thank you, ladies, so much. If you guys have questions, comments, please leave them in the chat, and feel free to follow Miss Crystal on all her social media platforms and reach out to her, join her organization, because what she's doing is life-changing. Okay, you guys, you will benefit from what she has to offer. All right, ladies. Guys, go ahead.
I was just saying thank you, ladies, for your time. Thank you.
Somebody said 88 is so extra. Yes, y'all. My daughter's extra, just like her mama. She don't got the lipstick. She doesn't even have my lipstick on. This is something she grabbed in my makeup bag, so I have no idea how she got this. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us. You guys have a great night, and I will see you guys next week for part 3 of The Vow.
Good night.